Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello and enjoy your discount. So what are we hanging today? Hyacinth. That's the product. Look at the beauty of that. One of the easiest things to hang, my opinion. This wall was skim coated and it was painted because in between these sections of natural hyacinth you have what essentially is a see-through set of threads, and so you want to make sure that the color is not offensive to the pattern after it's hung. So, what is important with this product? Okay, our ceiling is not perfectly straight. In fact, it's somewhat noticeably bowed. Right in the middle there, at the top right side of this panel that you see here, the ceiling dips down, and then right after it, it goes up. The trick is going to be to create an illusion sufficient that our vertical line, you can't cut this stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can cut it, but how is it gonna look? I mean, it's like having a brick wall with 7/8 of the brick missing over here, 1/3 of the brick missing over here. Do you understand what I mean? This line here, we have to do our best to keep it against the wall, while at the same time keeping our edges plumb. Because if you don't keep your edges plumb, here's what's gonna happen. This stuff is like a hardcover book. And look at this. If you should knock this out of plumb, you know, like your blinds, right? That cover your window. And when you move them over abruptly, they go back and forth. The top goes this way, the middle goes this way, the bottom is going this way, all at the same time. Well, if you should knock these slats out of whack, and this one, these two are a little over this way, guess what you're gonna have? A visible gap. Very important to know. Very important information with which to proceed successfully. Beautiful stuff, right? I mean, this, it really doesn't get any better than this. I mean, look at this. Look at this material. This is Hyacinth. Oh, it's really beautiful stuff. But let me just say this. There's not much you can do to mess this up. But if you mess it up a little, you mess it up a lot. Now, here's a little trick. When we hang the next sheet, some of these pieces may not be as big as its counterpart to the right, but we'll see. I've seen that. Look on your tile floor in your kitchen, those of you who have tile. Take a look at the grout line. Get down and look closely. You'll see that your grout line is not exactly. The tiles have a little more grout in between them from one to the other, just a slight amount, but you can see it. Now, it sounds rough, but it really isn't. What we want to do is get the product into this groove. Ideally, you want that seam right in the groove. You see, it's here, but it's not the same thing over here. It's not. So, this is what you want to do. You want to trim this where you leave an excess. And then, when it gets really soft, then trim it. I mean, we want it to stick to the wall right now. So I'm trimming it with an excess. You see that? There's an excess there. I'm bringing it up onto the trim. I'm gonna cut that. And then in the end, I'll trim it again. Okay. So you see that? Perfect over here, we'll just clean that up. But when we come over here, you see that? There's a lot that goes into this. You don't want to overcut it. I'd rather have a little excess during the hanging than a little less than I need. Okay, this gets tricky because what the new do-it-yourselfer wants to do, he or she wants to get each of these to fit in perfectly. It's not going to happen all the time. Not going to happen. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to hang the next sheet. Another tip with this material, and it's kind of common sense, you don't want to be doing this hard down this. You're going to peel off the hyacinth. You'll abrade those pieces there. You want to go side to side. Only side to side. Okay? Please. I've learned from my mistakes. Learn from mine. You don't have to suffer the same loss. Okay? Because you can see how they match up, right? Right here. And then they start going off the match. So, what do? Well, with that in mind, you try to match them up. We have to keep in mind that this is a natural product. It's not going to match up.
It's a nice coincidence that they even match up there. But it's not designed that they match up. They match up for the first 4 feet from the ceiling downward, but then they go off. There is no match. This is a random pattern. It's not a straight match, it's not a drop match. It's actually random. The pieces are not exactly the same, as long as your customer knows that. And in fact, my customer asked me, hey, they don't match. I said, yes, sir. It's not intended that they match. It's just coincidence that they matched anywhere. Most of the product, when you put 2 sheets together, it doesn't match up in terms of those slats matching up left and to the right. But when you step back, your eyes do not see what I'm pointing at right there. They don't see that. What they see is this beautiful shimmering effect that is produced by all of those pieces that you're looking at that create this angular flashing that shines back at you. What a beautiful effect. I really love this product.
You see those seams? Are they professional? You might grab the installer and say, look at this, you did terribly. No. The pattern is not one that matches up. Let me prove it to you. Would you agree that this matches perfectly? Why doesn't it match perfectly here? Here. Well, what's going on there? Do you see this and this? They're a different size. This is smaller than this one. Okay, that's what's going on. So, with that in mind, I mean, this could drive you crazy, a do-it-yourselfer, right? But you do want to make those seams flush as best you can. Okay, like right here, look. I don't think we're going to get that one down, but we're going to try. Did I do it? No, you know why? It's sticking out, it's proud. This is natural material. Don't expect this to conform to your desires. All right? But we're going to push that seam together as best we can. And then you're going to enjoy the natural beauty of this hyacinth. Okay? Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. It's so busy that you're not looking for continuity horizontally. You're not. Because you got all these little flickering shafts of light. And that takes your attention away from the horizontal. Now you might say, well, Spencer, you should have staggered the seam, the joints. Well, I say to you, okay, it's staggered. This and this is in the middle of this. But look at how, just down here, it starts meeting up again. Right? That stagger is getting close and close to perfection. We're almost at perfection here. All right, let's go down. And now we'll go up. So it meets up there almost perfectly. As it comes down, it gets out of joint, right? Almost at the 6-foot level from the floor. So if I staggered this, there's no rhyme or reason to it. If I staggered it, you would have it matching on one half of this vertical strip and not on the other. There's only one way to join these seams with this very stiff material. See that? And then you push it down like that. Look at how it's coming along. This is such a challenge at the top, you know, because you want that piece at the very top. But guess what? It's not gonna happen everywhere, but that's all right. Now this is the drop where the ceiling shows its greatest imperfection. My corner of my ceiling and wall is just above the threaded area. But as we go down the strip of wallpaper, I now have space over that. That stitching, you can see it's almost 1/4 of an inch. But all the way down here, my corner is right in the corner, okay? And over here, oh my goodness. I mean, the designer and I discussed this before I began hanging this today. So it's not an ideal situation, but you want to push the wallpaper into that area and it'll look fine, perfect. But if you cut it too short, it's gonna look terrible. So I decided to go with the thicker knife because I can't be struggling with a 9mm. I had to go to the bigger gun. Okay, let me do it. As I'm making my cut, you can see, look, that edge shows no shiny. It's the stitching as you go along, look. Now you can see what I'm talking about. I'm almost done with the cut. So that when you take it off, wow, the wallpaper is right up against that ceiling. Okay. You see, even with the bigger knife, it gets dull, right? After a while, look, it didn't cut through. So I adjusted and I took short spurts as I cut along. Let me trim that and show you what it looks like. So that after the cut, you see this stitching? Whoa, look at that. You got a 1/2 an inch there. But we knew this before we went in, you know? So, but I mean, the homeowner loved it. Do you blame her? Now let me show you from a distance what it looks like. It's the last sheet. And so I'm gonna take you 10 feet away and then you decide. You see how it doesn't really matter? Now, I'm gonna enlarge the image, but don't look beyond this seam this way because that's not trimmed yet. Okay, you're just looking at that last sheet. To the right of my hand. It's causing the camera to get out of focus. To the right here. Pretty good, right? It doesn't matter. And so, you just take in that beauty. It's spectacular. You know what it reminds me of? When you're driving over the Brooklyn Bridge at night and you look over at the buildings all lit up and you see various office buildings and the skyscrapers lit up. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, on the last sheet, which is here, and it's gonna be on the other end, here's what you gotta do. You have to trim your piece. So I gave myself another 1.5 inches, right? Because the wall is really not straight. Anyway, rather than stress this part of the paper, I pushed this corner from here because this is all getting trimmed off. So you want to stress this part is scrap. You don't want to be doing this. You'll see it in the end. So you want to push it into the corner like this. Get it in there, okay? And now I'll make my cut. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Push it over here like that and get it in that corner. And then cut the piece over here, not here. No, don't do that. You'll cut too much off. Okay, so we got that cut. I'm very happy with the cut. Look at that, look at that. And you can do this too. Look, I had to learn how to do it. I'm sharing it with you so that you can be successful when you do this, that's all. It's not that hard, but it's easy to blow it. And then when you blow it, you're looking at $100 a sheet of wallpaper here. $100, 8 feet of wallpaper, times 36 inches. I just want to show you, now we're on the other side of the cut, on the other side of the wall. I want to show you how I go about cutting this. So I push it from the adjacent wall side into the corner, and then pushing hard. My blade is on the other side, away from the wallpaper, affording me that extra 1/16 of an inch so I don't cut too much off. If I do it on this side, oh, I'm gonna be short, okay? Okay, very nice. You see, if your wall does one of these, and you have your blade on the wrong side of that smoother, you're gonna cut too short, okay? All right, I'm gonna show you the final product. It looks beautiful.
Hey, as we draw the video to a close, could you do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel? I put a lot of work into the videos. I'm hoping that you'll oblige me. Thank you so much.
One of the most spectacular products I've ever hung. I am in love with this product. How about you? Just in love with it. Look at this shimmering effect of this beauty. How about that? Do you like it? And you know what I love about it? The product is not made to be horizontally correct. It's a handmade product. It doesn't lend itself to that perfection. You see, we meet here, but we go down a little here and we're off, right? But when you step back, this is an abstract, natural piece. Your eyes are taken into all of the shimmering effects due to the angular differentials of light casting on and off this one, and then that one, and then this over here. See that? So when you go far away, this is what you see. Your eyes do not look for horizontal matchup. Look at that. Look at that beauty. What do you think about that? I love this product. What do you think? I'm coming back to the house tomorrow, but I wanted to give you a really good, just using the lamps to give you a better idea how to put the bed back, of course, to give you a better idea what it looks like. I mean, this is a spectacular wall covering. Absolutely spectacular. I can't get over that beautiful shimmering look.